weekend haul. I miss everyone. I say that every time, but I do. I was on campus today and it's so quiet, but I'm just pretending it's summer already because it's coming soon. So I told you guys I wanted to maybe talk about herbs. I went and got herbs today. I don't have them planted, but whether you're a gardener and you plant a big garden and have a big yard, or you're not a gardener, it's so awesome even if you just have fresh herbs and you don't have room for anything else or don't have time or you're not into gardening. So I always at least have fresh herbs. One, they're really expensive, and two, like it's amazing just cutting some chives up and putting them in your scrambled eggs. Like what a difference just having some fresh herbs make. You can also put them in flavored waters, lemonades, grown-up drinks, lots of different things besides food. I also use them in desserts. I think I made for you guys some lemon rosemary shortbread that has rosemary in it, so they're limitless. So I just wanted to show you, even if you don't want to plant a big garden or don't have a garden, how easy it is. You just need a container. So this is just a big kind of rectangular container. You can use a round one. Even if you don't have a space outside, you can put it in a pot, just a little individual pots. Most of them like lots of sun and lots of water, especially basil. Basil soaks up the water, so you pretty much have to water them almost every day. Rosemary, thyme's a little more resilient. It'll handle a little bit colder weather. It doesn't necessarily need to have water all the time, but I've never watered it in the summer every day because it's so hot and had it have a problem. Some other tips. One of the herbs I love to plant is mint. I love it in lemonade. I like to put it in my waters. It's like a weed. So if you do plant in your garden or in a container, it's got to be separate from everything else. It's got to be in its own container because it will take over everything else. So I'm just going to talk about the recipe today and then I'll post it. It's such a simple one. I'm not really going to spend the time putting it together, and I want to kind of talk to you about variations on it. So I'm going to talk about pesto. Basically, it is basil. It is pine nuts. This is a standard basil pesto. It's olive oil, some lemon. Not all recipes have lemon in them. Some garlic, and some good Parmesan cheese. Basically, you just put everything in your food processor and blend it up. You can put more or less oil depending on how smooth, the consistency, if you want it thicker or thinner. I typically make it a little on the thick side, and then I can always add some more olive oil because I will stuff it in chicken. If I put it in like a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato, which is our really popular sage sandwich I know at the upper school, is the pesto tomato provolone sandwich that we grill. I'll make it a little bit thicker so it doesn't run out. But if you want it to more spreadable, like for a pizza crust or a flatbread, something like that, you can get a little bit thinner. So typically, I'm gonna give you guys the recipe, but I would put maybe half the olive oil in it and kind of play with it, and then add a little bit more to get it to the consistency that you want it. So the other tip on pesto is pine nuts. They're usually less expensive in the summer months. That's where I usually see them most. You can get them in larger bags. Typically, they're in the produce section at the regular grocery stores or Whole Foods. That's where they seem to carry them. They freeze really well. And you'll want to put them in the freezer if you buy a lot because they won't last if you don't, but you can keep them in your freezer for almost a year. The other tip I want to share with you is that you should always toast them. So I'm going to bring this up close because I want you guys to see how they just have a little bit of brown and some color on them. That's what you want. Just turn your pan or stove on like medium to medium high. Put them in there. It's less than a minute. You're going to want to watch them. Just kind of give them a toss. Once they get a little brown on one side, toss them once and then pull them off and they're done. What this does is bring out the oils in the nuts and it intensifies the flavor. And it just gives it more of that toasty taste, which is delicious. So the last thing I want to share is you can make any kind of pesto almost out of anything. You can do parsley, you can do cilantro, you can do arugula. You can leave the cheese out. It's not going to affect it at all if you want to make it vegan. Also, if anyone in your family has nut allergies, just take the nuts out. It's great to mix up the nuts too. You can use almonds, you can use walnuts. I make an arugula with walnuts that I stuff in chicken. It's really yummy. But you can do any hard cheese, any hard salty cheese. I've done cilantro with cotija cheese and used that and made like a Mexican pizza. You can use it to put on top of meat, like anything you want. So just mix it up and have fun with it. So hopefully you guys got some tips on some herbs and you'll make some pesto. Oh, one last thing on the pesto. It also freezes really well. So if your basil gets really big and does well, you'll have a ton of basil. You won't be able to use enough of it every day. Make a big batch of pesto, get some little freezer containers with some tight sealing lids, and you can stick it in the freezer or even make little ice cubes out of it and freeze them, and you can get it out to put in a pasta or on some chicken, whatever you want to use it for. So everybody stay safe and well. It's 80 degrees outside. It is beautiful. So I've been out hiking whenever I can. So hopefully you guys are getting outside and you're enjoying the weather, and I will talk to you soon.